Sounds good.
In 3, 2, 1, we are live.
He loves to say
He
that.
loves saying
I do like
that. We are live.
And
That's
that's
the only thing I get to say on this show.
Jeff
We're
Meltzer.
paying this guy $1 million a year
$1 million
to say we are live.
How did that happen? I
don't
mean,
know.
how did he become Gelman?
Last week we fired him after the show, and now he's back. I don't
We
get it.
just can't get rid of him.
It's the only thing I get to say on the entire show. It's 3, 2, 1,
1, and you are alive.
But don't worry, your control room looks great, bro.
Thank you. Well, we try to keep it clean, you know.
All right, light us. Just put us up full, so this way, when we're live later, everybody could start flowing up before we hit the start button. Souk, listen, what can I say about today's show? Last week we had George Lopez on.
It was an incredible show.
We continue after 402 shows to have legendary performers and celebrity guests on this program. Now,
icons.
They say persistence is key, Suki.
In life.
I reached out to Debbie Gibson.
I think in 2020.
3 years ago. Now,
wait. Let's tell everybody. We had a list of our people that we would like to get on.
Yes.
And it ran the gamut.
Yeah.
And Debbie was very high up on the list because we were trying to do 80s nostalgia.
And I'm gonna tell you how it all went down.
We love.
Yeah. So I'll tell you the story after we hit the real start of the show, as everybody continues to light up. But Debbie Gibson is on the show. She is, we know her from when she was 16 years old, Souk.
That's when we fell in love with her.
Right, and she's been doing it for 37 years now.
I think Out of the Blue. I think Out of the Blue was released 36 years ago. In August, it will be 37.
And she has a list of accolades that if we were to go through each one, we'd have to do a 4-hour show. So Debbie's here. We're going to talk about her career, her life. I have I got an 80s lyrics quiz for the two of you guys.
I think we're going to do great.
I couldn't let that go. So anyway, we're gonna get this whole thing started. Jeffrey Kidd, give me the start of the show in 3, 2, and 1.
The Suki and Scott Show.
This is one of the funnest shows I've ever done.
Lady, when you're with me, I'm smiling.
It's musical. It's magical.
Suki and Scott, that's 7 of hearts. Exactly.
This is a sexy show.
Someone's getting some action.
Now, these larger-than-life personalities are on an exciting new journey as they bring you the Suki and Scott Show.
You guys nailed it. You're great. You ask great questions. You listen.
I answered you because I have respect for you guys, and it was a question respectfully put.
The Suki and Scott Show is your one-stop destination for humor.
You like De Niro and Cape Fear. Counselor!
Entertainment.
Jesse's girl!
Wonderful.
Can you paint with all the colors of the wind?
And optimism.
You guys have such amazing energy.
Ultraviolet light, it gets in there and it just fights the kung flu, is that right? Okay.
Let's laugh together.
We love him.
The Suki and Scott Show.
That's the best intro for a show I maybe have ever seen. Your intro is fantastic.
Suki, not only is the intro fantastic, it's the longest intro in the history of television. But who cares? There's no rules. It doesn't matter anymore. So
it's our show.
Yeah, it's our show. And when you talk about when we were kids, when there used to be shows and sitcoms, their theme songs were memorable theme songs, Souk. You don't have that anymore.
I don't think there's anything that's memorable anymore.
Boy, the way Glenn Miller played.
True.
Suki, listen, I am so excited about this show. We have had so many legends and celebrities and performers on this program. I mean, just last week we had George Lopez for the 3rd time, by the way.
Yeah, a great fan of our show.
George, a big fan of the show. He's doing so great with his Lopez versus Lopez on Fox.
With his daughter.
Our guest today, and we've devoted the entire show just to this one particular person.
Because why?
Well, because Suki, right back around 2020.
Persistence works.
When we started the show, I reached out to Debbie Gibson on Instagram, which, as you know, you can get anybody on Instagram if they see what you send them.
Exactly.
So I sent Debbie a message. Hey, we'd love to have you on. Here's the sizzle of our show, which was a lot different then. Debbie was so nice that she actually sent me back an audio recording to answer my message. I called you. I said, Souk,
Debbie called us back.
I'm dating Debbie Gibson right now. This is unbelievable. We're dating. So Debbie answered back, and she was so happy to come on. It was just the schedules always conflicted, and
she's always working.
She's so busy. Finally, Suki, I wake up the other day to an email. every day, just
confirmation,
just like in the movie Wall Street, when he would wake up and he would say, "Today's the day I get in to see Gordon Gekko.
Yeah.
Today's the day I get in to see
Debbie Gibson."
So today's the day we finally have Debbie Gibson. And I mean, you talk about Suk, I don't understand. Debbie, we knew her in the mid 80s.
Yeah.
She shot onto the pop scene.
And she came out of nowhere.
But she also, I think she sleeps in formaldehyde because she
doesn't age.
She looks exactly the same, and she looks insanely amazing.
Okay, so we're the same age as Debbie.
Around. Sure.
You're
Some of us a couple
older.
years older, maybe 3 or 4 years older.
Think of Your Life, My Life, and what Debbie was doing. I mean, what she was doing was so groundbreaking. Mm-hmm. I mean, she was walking and cutting deals with record producers.
Yep.
Before she was even legal to drink, drive, or vote.
Yeah.
I mean, she was doing it way before anybody else. Her first song was at the Palladium.
Sing it, Suki.
Palladium.
Which one was it? Was it Only in My Dreams? No,
it
was
Only in My Dreams. Yeah, I do think it was Only in My Dreams.
Was it Electric Youth?
No, I don't know.
Wasn't Electric Youth?
Foolish
Beat, Suki. Lost in Your Eyes.
Lost in Your Eyes. No, I think it was. I do think it was Only in My Dreams.
Only in My Dreams,
if I remember correctly, but I could be wrong. Bless Debbie.
Well, Suk, listen, Debbie's coming on in just a second. She's got her The Body Remembers tour, which I think is a part 2. I think she's going back out for that one.
Yeah.
And basically, what we'll do is somewhere in that interview, I've got an 80s lyrics quiz.
Hope she's ready.
You versus her.
Are you doing your Shatner voice?
It may be in Shatner's voice. But before we bring her on, Suk, when you think of 80s music, aside from Debbie,
when I think about the 80s,
what's like a first song that comes into mind?
I don't know about a song necessarily, but I think about moments, right?
Okay.
I think about the 5 o'clock whistle.
Oh my God! On every radio station in New York.
I think about like everybody's working for the weekend.
Everybody's working
for the weekend. I mean, I think about things like that just don't exist anymore because we all have different schedules now.
And followed by that song was always I don't want to work. I just want to bang on the drum. Right? Todd Rundgren, I think that was. So my God, we're right in the middle of college in the 80s, and We Are the World and all these great songs.
I didn't think about that.
And here
anything Michael Jackson.
Here comes Debbie Gibson, and bingo, she's America's new sweetheart.
We all wore the hat to
school. I didn't wear the hat. She wore the hat. Anyway, so Debbie Gibson is in our green room. She's been sipping on champagne. She's out in Vegas. Here's a little bit of Debbie, and then we're going to bring her in on the other side. Take a look.
I don't mind knowing what I'm headed for. You can take me to the skies. It's like being lost in heaven, but I'm lost in your eyes. So I can't wait in love. Isn't this what's called romance? For I'll be found when I get lost in your
Oh my God!
There she is, ladies and
I
gentlemen.
love that song. Love it.
There she is.
Hi, at long last. I know we had the most epically long DM fest. And life, man. I mean, you guys go live. There's just specific logistics, and I pace my life differently now. Like, I don't do the marathon press days and weeks. I kind of like pop in and out of it, and I try to be like a little saner about my career and my life. But we're here. We did it. Persistent.
You did it.
Thank you. Suki, this is our last show ever. Debbie's here. We're finished.
He has been waiting such a long time.
You know what's amazing? Debbie, you know what's amazing? We're talking before you came on, we're talking about how, through the 80s, 90s, the 2000s, right? And people our age in their 40s and 50s, such big fans, and we follow your career. When I put up the graphic, when our insanely large social media team put up the graphic that you were coming on, I can't tell you how many people, young girls, who were texting me or messaging us, when is the show? When can I see it? Debbie's the best. We love it. they're all young females that are young right now.
Yeah. They're like 16, 18, 25.
You've crossed over, young lady.
Yeah, that's amazing to hear. I mean, like, all I ever wanted to do was be that universal artist who transcends. I mean, look, when I was 16, I was, you know, a huge fan of Tina Turner, still am. I was never like, this is my mom's music. I'm like, no, she's a freaking rock star. And Cher and all those great divas who are several generations older, but they're timeless.
Look at how cute you are. Look at how cute you are. It was ridiculous.
And my hair's kind of doing a similar thing today, that first photo.
Okay, can we talk about the hat? Because it was iconic.
Yeah, the hat.
Iconic. Was that something that you thought about? Because everybody then just kind of followed along and cut their hair in bangs and put on a hat.
So here's the hat story. So first of all, I always loved hats. I loved hats so much that I even have a picture of myself at like 2 years old wearing a toilet paper, like a cloth toilet paper cover as a hat. I always loved the personality of hats. But that particular hat, I was at Z100 with Scott Shannon.
Oh, Scott Shannon.
For the Christmas episode. Brian Bloom was there, who then became my boyfriend. I mean, it was a very epic morning. And Michael Damian was wearing that hat. That original hat was Michael Damian.
Michael Damian, yeah.
Like the cutesy girl
From
thing.
Young and the Restless.
Can
You had a song out.
Oh, can I try? And he let me keep it. And I was like, oh, I'm going to throw it in the video. I'm going to throw it because I just loved hats. So there was no strategy, no thought process. It was a totally organic thing that happened.
I cannot believe that was Michael Damian's hat.
Yeah, Young and the Restless, Michael Damian.
Yeah.
I'm
trying to remember his song. I see the video.
Oh, hey, kids, rock and roll.
Yeah, rock on. David Essex.
Rock
the redo.
on.
Now, you know, he lives in Vegas and he and his wife are like big writers and producers and directors for Hallmark and Netflix. Like they do all these movies. I love watching where people go.
Yeah.
Like I think people always loved Michael Damian, but you know, they also kind of like mock soap stars and all that. And it's like, no. Everyone, first of all, on soaps, their skills are like, I'm mad at their skills because they're doing like a new play every day. But I also love seeing what other hidden talents people have. And then that, you know, emerges later in life. And that's been the case with him.
That's incredible. We need to get him on the show now. Michael Damian, on the show.
Right. I have a cell number for making you wait all this time. Maybe
Deb,
up with Michael Damian.
Well, worth it. And also another close neighbor of yours, John DiDomenico, who's having a ball with Trump right now. He's on Howard Stern every morning. I know he and his wife live not too far from you. Everybody's in Vegas.
I haven't run into them yet, although I do run into Carrot Top occasionally.
Carrot Top.
What the heck is that like? Is it when you're taking out the garbage? Is Carrot Top there too?
No, it's like at the local Italian joint, and I see him, and we just say hello and how are you and whatever. I know, it's so cool. Like I love living in Vegas. It's actually where I live. And you talk about taking out the trash because, you know, I do my singing, taking out the trash.
And wait, Deb, hold it right
Deb,
there.
hold
Hold it right there. Can we see Deb taking out the trash, Deb?
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. A beautiful day, my neighbor. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? Last trash day before tour.
That was just the other day. That was just like Monday evening.
Yeah, I mean, who's got a camera out on their driveway like that?
I mean, you know, I happen to have a camera out. But it's so funny because like my neighbors, I have the coolest neighbors, Brandon and Haley, who are like, you know, like a decade younger than me, and they're super cute. And I could hear them in the garage. I'm like, doing the trash video now. Okay, Deb. Like, they're just used to it. It's so funny. But, you know, I started doing that in the pandemic because, like, everybody, I was kind of curled up in a ball, paralyzed at certain moments. Like, what's happening in the world? And I was like, I just have to shift some energy for myself. And inadvertently, it shifted it for other people. And now people look forward to those videos because, you know, like we all have such major serious things going on in our lives with, you know, we all know, I don't have to list the stressors in life. We all deal with real deal stuff. So I think when you can find the moments of joy and kind of just being frivolous and whimsical. I look for those moments everywhere I can.
Yeah.
You know?
And Deb, listen, when you were 17, I think, right? Only in My Dreams was the huge hit. And I know I had read an article about you that you said that at that age, at 17, you were employing like 100 people.
Yes.
Right.
So,
you had adult pressures. You feel like you were living your life out of order, is I think what you said.
yes, very good. That's exactly it. So
Yeah.
like whenever people look at my life in any way that's like they painted a picture of me of this, like what they thought my life would turn out to be, which was probably like, oh, she'll be married and with kids. And, you know, she comes from the suburbs. So, no, nothing in my life has been conventional. It's been completely out of order. It's been completely my own picture that I've kind of created as I've gone along. Because when you start that kind of life at 16, it's definitely, it's its own thing. It's its own thing. And I never, even to this day, want to complain about any of it, but it psychologically was just, you know, 16-year-olds are thinking of where they're going to college. And I was like I was in a very adult world. And thank God I had my mom by my side, because I was very adult in my career, business, creative mind, but I was a very late bloomer in my normal teenage girl development. I was like still toting around stuffed animals at 18 because I think I was like hanging on to that.
Your youth.
Balance out. Yeah, to balance out the fact that I was employing 100 people and I knew what paychecks were and I knew what it meant to have an overhead that I had to meet. And that was all my energy it was relying on, and my voice. And so that was a lot of pressure. I mean, I'm happy to say that now it's all kind of worked itself out and I feel like I'm in a great place. But there was a lot to navigate back then for sure. But I was also living my dream. And I think back to how many odds were stacked against me and my mom and that music coming out. And the fact that it broke through, and it broke through because of a good old American dream hard work story.
There you
I
go.
mean, that's awesome.
There you go.
I mean, I feel like you like set the playbook or put the playbook in play for young artists like who are now, you know, crazy. Like, but Taylor Swift, I see a lot of parallels.
Right.
Because like I used to watch her on MTV for some reason. I just kind of glommed onto her and her story of how she would like walk into, you know, places in Nashville with a guitar, and then she slowly, like, you know, kind of like you on the radio with Z100, where that was your like avenue to kind of put your music out there.
Yep.
She kind of gravitated towards MTV and putting her music out there, and how the two of you have really maintained grassroots like, you know, strings with your fans and been able to grow them, keep them over the years.
Yes. And I think whether you're playing a small theater or a stadium, like if you have that connection, that true connection, yes, that is rooted. Sorry, this hair is going to drive me crazy the entire interview if I keep I'm always trying to heal my hair because of showbiz and the dry air in Vegas. So women, I'm sure you can relate. But anyway, yeah, I think if your connection to your audience is rooted in something, and similarly, listen, I used to get up literally on milk crates in Brooklyn and sing at street fairs, like, give me a microphone, give me an amp, give me a milk crate.
Yeah.
And you just do it like any chance you get. I think she and I both have that love of it. I think as songwriters, we both have that joy that comes with presenting a new song to the world. I literally could cry, like having it resonate with people. It's not wasted on me that I have been and I continue to be in people's lives and the soundtracks of their lives and the fabric of their life musically. Like, that's a real honor. I mean, it's really, really an honor. And I think the fans feel that from her and they feel that from me. And we were all there together in the beginning and we're all still here now. I get goosebumps. I really do. My Deb heads and my diamond Deb heads. Big love.
I love it.
They followed me through the not so glamorous times because, you know, when you're a pop act, you're in, you're out. And not only are you out, people love you and then they like hate you. There's backlash. They don't want you on MTV. They write letters. So I went to Broadway, like, because Seattle grunge came in, pop went out.
Yeah.
I continued to pivot. Cue David Schwimmer. You have to know how to pivot in this business and in life, because it's not always going to be sunshine and lollipops. Oh, everyone's opening the door for you. So you better have your toolkit and your tenacity and just like keep navigating. But the fans have always stuck with me. They're like,
oh,
speaking of
tenacity.
Speaking of Broadway, Debbie, if I said
that's good, Suki, that's going to be the name of my book, Tools and Tenacity.
Can I tell you something? I think there's something for that. I read
that out loud. That just came out, but it's
you should jot that down.
No, I'm going to trademark it real quick.
Hey, poor man's copyright. By the way, my mom knew of the poor man's copyright back in the 1800s because I was 11 and writing songs, and she's like, I don't have an extra $10 or $20 this week to send to the Copyright Bureau. So she learned that we would mail the tape to ourselves and not open it. And that was the copyright, because there was no digital paper.
I didn't know that.
Wild.
It's wild, the things that she figured out. Yeah, it's wild.
Deb, if I said, met a girl crazy for me.
Met a boy. I'm doing it a different key. Cute as can be.
Do.
She's Sandy.
Drifting away. Oh, the summer nights.
Well. Tell me more. Did you get very far?
Tell me more. Like, does he have a car?
We went bowling.
That is your.
I love that. And also, I had a dream that life would be. Les Mis, Grease. She's been in all of it, Sue. She's been in all of it.
Like right there over my shoulder. There's my Les Mis montage on my.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Wait, Jeff, put her up.
Not us.
Oh,
there you go.
Oh, it's through the piano. You can't. Here, you want me to take you over to see it?
Yeah. Deb, bring us over to the piano, would you?
Oh, I knew that was coming. Here, hold on. I'm going to bring you to Les Mis. Hold on.
Luke, watch me get her to the piano. Watch this.
I can hear you.
What? You can't hear me.
Here's Les Mis. Here's me dying 8 times a week.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Fontaine and John Leone was my Marius. He just came to see me at 54 Below.
Yeah,
I don't have my sound hookup over here, but here.
Go ahead. Let me hear
it. We'll do a little on my own, pretending he's beside me. All alone, I walk with him till morning. Without him, I feel his arms around me, and when I lose my way, I close my eyes, and he has found me. Yeah, there's a little bit, and here's the piano from that side.
Okay, can you talk about the piano?
Looks like Liberace's
I want to know whose piano. Is that yours?
We're doing a full tour here, so you might have seen this story on Ghost Stories for real, but I found this book in a used bookstore in Utah, and I was the biggest Liberace fan. I know, very, very nerdy of me. And this was in the book.
Wow, what does that say? Jeff, put that up
full screen. It's a Western Union telegram, and what does it say?
It says, congratulations and good luck on a great concert tonight. Regards, Liberace and George, who is his brother.
Wow.
And I was doing a concert that night, so I was completely freaked out. But this piano I got from the guy, Myron Martin, who weirdly runs the Smith Center in Vegas here now. But he used to live on the Upper West Side, and so did I. And he was Liberace's rep, and he was my rep. And I never met Liberace. And when Liberace passed, Myron got the piano, I guess, in auction or whatever. And I was like, listen, if you ever want to part with it, please, I'm your first call. And I was his first call. I got it when I was 21 years old. So I've had it for over 30 years.
That is incredible.
Wow.
You've never met Liberace. That was your
Liberace.
But I really seriously feel like we're connected, and he is so happy to be here in Vegas making music with me. I still feel like I'm babysitting his piano. It's his, and he was Mr. Mr. Vegas, Mr. Showmanship.
Yeah, sure.
Mr. Showmanship.
So it's so cool
that's crazy. Debbie, when you were doing Grease on Broadway, I know it was in the movie, but Hopelessly Devoted wasn't in the Broadway show, was it?
So I did the national tour as Rizzo in the US, and I did the West End production in London as Sandy with all the movie music.
Nice.
So I got to do Hopelessly Devoted in London for 9 months, which was unbelievable. And Robert Stigwood, who produced the original movie, produced our production. So it was very much like the movie brought to life. And then and it was cool because that production really featured Sandy more, and the production in the US really featured Rizzo a little more. That was like the celebrity casting role, although Sutton Foster was our Sandy, and she was phenomenal.
Oh, wow. Yeah. We had Sutton Foster on the mornings, right?
Yeah. I mean, she was like 19 at the time, and she was a freak of nature. Like, I'm a vocalist who has to always work at my voice, and she works at her voice too. But she also has this natural, like, I would hear her warming up, and she'd be like, "Me, mama, I mean, like, just so gifted. She's so gifted.
For 9 months,
one of my besties to this day was in it.
Do you remember like 30 seconds of Hopelessly Devoted?
Oh my goodness. Well, I remember. Do I want to do it as a question? But now there's nowhere to hide since you pushed my love aside. I'm out of my head, hopelessly devoted to you, hopelessly devoted to you, hopelessly devoted to you.
Oh, Debbie.
Wow. Debbie,
we
how
are
many
devoted to you.
How many marriage proposals do you get every week online?
I mean, seriously, he's been in love with you forever.
First of all, thank you. Second of all, here's the truth. Nobody really wants to marry me, and I'll tell you why. My dogs won't let you. They won't let you near me. I am like, okay, my life works so great right now. It's not that I'm not romantic and don't want to, be in another relationship at some point, but I was in a 10-year relationship, which was like a marriage. And since I've been out of that, I've been so hyper-focused on that relationship with my audience that we talked about. People are always like, the audience doesn't keep you warm at night. Right now,
it works.
They do. It works. And my health has been through so many twists and turns that people see glimmers of me on stage and on social media, and they don't know the other, 75% of my life that you guys don't see me. I am being hyper diligent about my health, my rest. I'm kind of boring, and I'm really messy. So every time I'm in my kitchen and I'm throwing chicken across my living room to my dogs, I think, no guy's ever getting involved in this. Yeah. But I joke and I'm like, I don't know if I want to clean up my act for a guy right now either. Listen, maybe, sorry, my email keeps doing its thing. I don't know how to turn it on. But yeah, honestly, at some point maybe, but right now,
you're happy. It's okay.
Or I want someone I can weekend rendezvous with or something. Someone really overseas. I don't know.
I like overseas. I like the way that sounds. Yeah. You just kind of dip in. Yeah.
Solo place right now. And I was never needy. See, this is going to be now more appealing to guys. I'm not needy. I've never been needy because I've always had my thing, my career and my art and my pets and so, I could see opening up to dating again soon-ish. Yeah. But I
have a question.
A lot of people, though, can I just say one thing? I think a lot of people who are single in their 40s, 50s, 60s, that term set in your ways makes people sound stodgy. But it's what Suki was saying. It's really challenging when your life's working for you a certain way to
why change it?
Way.
Absolutely.
So I'm working with that.
What I would like to do real quickly is take you back to a younger time when your dating life was in full bloom.
You want to know?
Because this
is your life.
You had starred in one of my favorite movies, Mega Shark versus the Giant Octopus.
Listen, the Oscars shut us out. I'm still recovering from that.
They're still protesting that you weren't in the Oscar running, but also
I think Rotten Tomatoes really gave it a lot of energy. But,
but there was a gentleman you starred in that movie, Lorenzo Lamas. And you guys dated at one point back in the day, right?
We did. It was brief, but fun. And listen, I got to ride on the back of a motorcycle a lot, which was really cool. I always say to people, I'm a rocker at heart, and it's true. But here's the funny thing about Lorenzo Lamas, and he's either going to love me or hate me for saying this. Like the perception of him, like when I met him, he was this very like stay-at-home dad, focused on his career and his girls. Like, so people have this image of like, oh, Lorenzo Lamas. It was like, no, he was actually like a really cool, low-key, down-home family guy.
Yeah.
He happened to ride a motorcycle.
Also in Grease, by the way, in the movie Grease, he played the jock. I forget the name, but he.
That's right.
Movie,
yeah. So
I was just
funny.
curious, like, because we're all the same age, and I'm always fascinated by the recreation, of yourself. Like, I think you turn different decades, and there's a sense of recentering yourself in a different way than you did in your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, right? Your 50s are like a real pivot point, I think, in many ways for women. And you were talking about just being really happy with this current iteration of how your life is.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people take for granted that this time of just being with yourself, it's hard fought, first of all. Like, it's really hard fought, like where you have to really create boundaries and say, no, this is time for me. I'm going to do, like you were saying, I do 3 hours here. Maybe next week I'll do another 6.
Mm-hmm.
Do you find setting those boundaries a part of you kind of reclaiming who you are again?
I love so many things that you just said in that I need to process a minute. The reclaiming, yes, the ownership of how like sacred your space is. Okay, wait, someone's going to walk in and the dogs are going to go crazy. Come in, Heidi, come in. We're real timing it, people. Heidi, come in.
Bring the dogs.
Heidi,
Bring
come
the
in.
dogs.
Hurry, come in. Come in. It's just going to happen. Give it a minute. Hi. It's okay. Heidi, one of my amazing assistants, just walked in.
Heidi.
Yes. Okay, yes. Take them out.
And there's the dog.
And there are the dogs.
Do the dogs, the dachshunds. Yes. Oh, I love that you put their picture up while they're barking. That's amazing. Levi's like, no, come here, Lee. Come here, Lee. You can come in. Okay, so
we're predominantly a show with a lot of women who watch us and who love, getting little bits of knowledge from some of the people that we interview.
Yes, I think like your sanctity, your sacred space, whatever you deem that to be, if it's a physical place or if it's energetic, I always say it can be expensive to hang out with certain people and in certain spaces and certain energies. Like, I very rarely go to like a stadium concert unless I am dying to be there, because I know myself. I know that too many elements take me down. People wearing colognes and perfumes and smoking and whatever all the things are.
Yeah.
Electromagnetics. All for me. I know myself, and it adds up. And so I do think like I've done many a social media post about how tortured I feel when I have to say no to people and things that I don't want to say no to, but I know that I have to for my own sanity and my own being. And I think it's a constant push-pull, especially for women who are known for being multitaskers and superheroes. And what wears me out more than anything, and it took me down a few days ago and I'm still working my way out of it, is wearing too many hats. So like weirdly going on tour, which seems grueling and is grueling in one way, becomes me exhaling, because I get to just be the artist and just be focused on that for a minute. And I can take off my record label hat and I wear a lot of hats, and my manager, Heather, and I are like we have a team surrounding us, but she and I are at the helm and we are on the line for a lot of things. And so, but yes, I love that, like, rediscovering, reclaiming, because I don't know if it's reinventing, but it might be in a sense reinventing. I love the word boundaries. Just kind of restructuring like what works for you in any given moment or chapter.
Or reclaiming yourself, right? Like, because like so many of us who grew up like in the 80s or 90s, you had yourself defined in so many ways, or redefined, especially you in the entertainment industry. And I can't even imagine some of the things that you saw and experienced as a young person, and then moving into your 30s. And like you said, having to redefine yourself and finding that role in Broadway.
Tiffany, I love her.
I know. And why did they pit the two of you against each other?
I think we're alone now.
And I want to talk about her in a minute, but I want to just continue down this line a minute. Let me see if I just one thing I've worked really hard on, and I continue to work hard on, is who am I without my labels of pop singer, or it used to be pop star or icon, whatever the labels other people project onto me. They think I'm this, they think I'm that. So like breaking out of the perception that other people have of you. And by the way, going back to Taylor Swift, I remember hearing her talk about this in her documentary as well, because as an entertainer, especially starting young, you're asked to reflect and talk about yourself a lot, and you can develop a really unhealthy sense of self-importance. I'm also just another person functioning in the world, and all the people functioning in the world, in my opinion, are important. So like putting entertainers up here and other people down, like I hate that. So I've always asked myself, and I had to face this when I dealt with really debilitating health challenges. Who am I without singing? Who am I without the titles? Who am I without, I've had money and titles stripped away from me and I've rebuilt. I've had health stripped away from me and I rebuild and continue to navigate. And so you have to go to the core of like, I am a worthy human being. And I always talk about kindness because I see Postmates people every day working hard and coming to my door, and I'm always on the go. So I'm ordering, and I love supporting them. And I love giving them a moment of joy and kindness and appreciation. Like, I think at the core, if people just are aware of how much you can affect someone and you use that wisely, then we start to make big shifts.
Yeah.
So that's what I work on just on a human level.
Deb, you mentioned the tour before, and you're about to go out on The Body Remembers.
Yes.
Later this month, you're going to be popping around all over the place. I think Niagara Falls.
Yes, we started Niagara Falls, and even as a New Yorker, I've never been to Niagara Falls.
Oh, really?
Yes.
You got to go into Ripley's Believe It or Not. You got to go into the Ripley's Believe It or Not in Niagara Falls.
No, you got to go on the Maid of the Mist.
Okay. I want to do it all because we have
the Maid of the Mist. What things you have done recently? I know you were on The Masked Singer. We could pop that up for a sec.
Yes, but so I am going on tour. I went on tour, so I released this album, The Body Remembers, almost 2 years ago. It's a double album. Oh, I'll talk about the night. I can't talk about the Night Owl enough. I love my Night Owl so much. So the tour went on a tour last summer. There was a demand for more dates. I was not done with this album yet. We could have packed it in after a year and a half of promoting it, but there's this new single and new video, Love Don't Care, which is very much an homage to like 70s divas, like I was talking about earlier, like all those Bob Mackie wearing divas who were, smoking and dating their younger men and living it up. Like all the themes are in this video because the theme of the song is Love Don't Care. It doesn't see, it's what Cher always says. It doesn't see age. It doesn't see color. It doesn't, it shouldn't see gender, all of the things. So we explore all those themes in the video. I can't wait. Can't wait to tour. I think, listen, crafting an album is, I love it. But you do that so you can bring it to the people and be in the same room as everybody and commune with everyone through the music. And yes, Masked Singer, I don't know if you guys know the story that I got that call I got the message while on a plane heading back from New York to Vegas, and they needed someone to fill in last minute the next morning.
What?
So after pondering doing The Masked Singer several times and the schedule, I mean, Scott, you know about my schedule. It just didn't work out. I was like, yes, I'm going to be the girl who says yes, even though I was grieving because it was the 1 year anniversary of losing my mom. I was crying. I was flying. I had just eaten pizza, which you usually don't want to do when you're singing the next day.
Yeah.
And so, but I was like, I'm going to say yes and trust that the universe is going to make this a fabulous experience. And I love being that girl who can save the day. That's a fun role. I've played it many times. I get called, we need someone to fill in. I go, all right, I love showbiz. Okay, I'm there. And so after a 15-hour travel day, I went and I did The Masked Singer, sang ABBA. The Night Owl costume, those costumers are phenomenal. They pulled that gorgeous costume together in a day.
Wild, wow.
And I felt like, well, I'm about to be a night owl. I'm going on tour. There was a whole maternal theme with night owls, and there's like a protective, like there was so many adjectives associated. I was like, let's do that. And it just like the mirrors looked like the mirrors on the piano. And it just felt very me somehow. It felt elegant. It felt rock and roll. And I was like, oh my God, I'm in a giant animal head thing. Like,
so cool.
It's fun. It's really cool. It's really cool. And I have mad respect for people who play characters in theme parks because it's hot and dusty and heavy.
You did a mini residency in Vegas with Joey McIntyre, who we got a little footage. Take a look.
Come on, dance with me. I'll never take you. You're my starlight. I need you all night. So come on, dance with me. I'll never take you. You can fly away with me tonight. You can fly away with me tonight. Baby, let me take you for a ride. Yeah, 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 yeah. You can fly away with me tonight. You can fly away with me tonight.
Love fly away with me tonight. Yeah.
Oh, Joe and I need to do that again. I love him so much. And he called me his pop soulmate. He is my pop soulmate. And I said this the other day, and I actually left him a voice memo because I'm the voice memo queen yesterday. And I said there are conversations I can only have with Joey McIntyre. Because it's like we started in a similar place. We've both gone through this transformation and like evolution, and we both love Broadway, and we did the duet together. It's just, we're kind of male-female versions of each other in so many ways. And it was such a gift in my adult life to be a part of a duo for a minute, and hopefully again in the future. Because
I love it.
Are you two beautiful women ready for a little 80s music lyrics challenge?
Go ahead, do it. I'm kind of scared. I don't know anything too, by the way, Deb. So we're both.
Deb, here we go. We got a couple of different topics. So the first one, I'm going to give you the first one, Suk. You'll get a second one. No help with each other, please.
Okay.
The first topic is opening lyrics to a song. So the first lyrics you hear.
Okay.
To a song. I will read them to you. You let me know what song it is. Very simple. You ready to roll?
Go.
You ready as well?
This is for Debbie Gibson. Number one. Have you ever met a girl that you tried to date, but a year to make love, she wanted you to wait?
I have no idea.
You got what I need.
I felt like it was a rap thing, the way you did
it. Yes.
Bismarck
Key.
Right, but they say I'm just a friend.
There you go. She said,
but I did not know that opening lyric. Ooh, we're going deep. Okay.
We're going deep, yeah.
Here we go. Suk?
Oh.
Sometimes I feel I've got to run away. I've got to get away from the pain you drive into the heart of me.
The love we share. Tainted love.
Nicely done. Nicely done.
That's
a rough one.
Here you go, Deb.
Deb doesn't like the first lyric. I can see it already.
We're changing it up.
Now. I had a feeling I'm good with games, but I had a feeling about this.
Now all you have to do is tell me the name of this song. My father tells me, what you gonna do with your life? Oh, Daddy dear, you know you're still.
Yeah, oh girls, they wanna have fun.
Nicely
done.
Go.
Cyndi Lauper. That's good.
I did that in like a garage band on my Casio. I was a keyboard player. They didn't want me to sing lead because it was all boys. True story.
Is that really a true story?
Really a true story. I was relegated to the chick keyboard player position in the garage band in like 1983. And then 3 years later, I was on the radio. So those boys.
You guys.
Fans in the 80s. Okay, go ahead.
Here we go, Suk. Name this song. Dig, if you will, the picture.
Oh, that's Prince. You and I engaged in a kiss.
Nice. What's the song?
Your body, why come to some of your darling?
Doves cry.
When doves cry.
This is what it sounds like.
When doves cry.
Boom, 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 boom.
Oh my gosh, why are you bringing this up? That's our homage to Prince.
Here we go.
Oh my God.
Finish these lyrics, Debbie Gibson. Here we go.
What the hell?
If you didn't know Bismarck Key, you might not know this one. I'm going to start with Suki on this one. You ready?
Yes.
Your pop caught you smoking, and he said, "No way." That hypocrite smokes 2 packs a day.
Oh, we got to fight for our right to party.
I said, finish the lyrics,
Oh.
Suki. Man, living at home is such a drag.
I can't finish the lyrics,
I
but
don't
yeah,
know, but I know it's
this fight for right.
Now your mom threw away your best pawn.
Yeah, right.
All right.
Beasties. But
That's
yeah,
the Beastie
I
Boys.
was someone who knew every rap lyric by heart for sure. I was a rap hook girl.
All right, ready? Debbie, here's the last one. Finish these lyrics.
Okay.
When you call my name, it's like a little prayer. I'm down on my knees. I want to take you there.
You there in the midnight hour. I can feel your power just like a prayer. I want to take you there.
Just like a prayer, my thoughts will take you there.
No, now you just lost it.
Heart of mystery. Debbie, listen, 3 years, well worth the wait.
I mean,
I hope so.
we love
I
you.
Shout it out. I want to just go back to Tiffany for a minute and say
Oh, go ahead.
she's amazing.
Go ahead.
She is one of the most powerhouse vocalists you'll ever hear. And she is on the road all the time. She's also just one of these girls who has worked hard. She's maintained her fan base. She sounds better than ever. So if you see her in your area, check her out.
I think we're alone.
I love it. I love it. We need to get Tiffany on. Do
Yeah.
you have her in her
So,
speed
Deb,
dial?
who else
too,
you
Deb?
got? Who else you got on the phone?
Do I have Tiffany on speed dial?
All right, thank you. You
Deb-
gotta share
Debbie's
that number,
our-
Debbie.
Deb, you're our new booker here on this program.
I mean, who knew?
Debbie's the executive producer and booker now.
Yeah,
we have
it
just
pays.
Hat to wear. See what I
Pays very well. Debbie, listen, before you go, I would get killed. One of my producers over at WWE, a young lady by the name of Lisa Hogan, when she saw you were coming on, she said, when I was in my teens, I was president of her chapter of the Debbie Gibson.
Oh, that's so sweet.
So I told Lisa Hogan, I said, I will get Debbie to absolutely give you a shout out on our show. I'll clip it and send it. She said, I will die if that happens. So
Hi, Lisa. Hi, Lisa Hogan. Debbie Gibson here, and only in my dreams did I ever think I'd be shouting you out. You, the president of the chapter of my fan club in the 80s. Love you, girl.
There you go. There you go. Love it.
I mean, that was the time when you were like a president of the fan club. I
Fan
mean,
club.
I remember
Davy Jones fan club.
that's right.
Marsha Brady was the president of the Davy
Well,
Jones.
yeah, I have my Diamond Deb heads, and
That's where you have your Diamond Debs. Yep.
And they're amazing. They are like an army. They're like my army. They're incredible. And a lot of them were in the original DGIF. That's what it was called. Debbie Gibson International Fan Club, which brings us full circle to TGIF, and everybody's working for
Exactly.
Deb, listen, real quick before we go, where can people log on to see where the tour dates are?
DebbieGibsonOfficial.com and at Debbie Gibson everywhere on social media. I'm the most directly interactive on Instagram, but DebbieGibsonOfficial.com for the summer tour dates.
Beautiful. Debbie,
Yeah.
thank you
Thank
so
you so
much.
much,
We
Debbie.
love you.
Thank
Continued
you.
success. Keep doing what you're doing, kid. You're going to be all right in this business. You'll make it. Jeff, let's get a little Philly kid to end the show. Philly's, there's the dog. Wait, go back, Jeff. Go back.
So there's
Go
Trooper, and there's Levi and Joey on the couch, completely unimpressed.
Trooper, Levi, and Joey. They can care less about anything. Debbie, thank you so much. Have a great tour, young lady.
Thank you guys so much. Bye.
Beautiful. Here's a little Philly kid with one of his great renditions, everybody. We'll see you next week. Another great show. We love you guys. Mwah. Here's Phil.
I can see her lying back in her satin dress in a room where you do what you don't confess. Sundown, you better take care if I find you've been creeping round my back stairs. Sundown, you better take care if I find you've been creeping round my back stairs. She's been been looking like a queen in a sailor's dream, and she don't always say what she really means. Sometimes I think it's a shame when I get feeling better when I'm feeling no pain. Sometimes I think it's a shame when I get feeling better when I'm feeling no pain. I can picture every move that a man could make. Getting lost in her loving is your first mistake. Sundown, you better take care if I find you've been creeping round my back stairs. Sometimes I think it's a sin when I feel like I'm winning when I'm losing again, yeah. I can see her looking fast in her faded jeans. She's a hard-loving woman, got me feeling mean. Sometimes I think it's a shame